Okay, got the sliding door frame just dry fitted. Tried to square it up as much as possible. Got a few screws in it, but don't have any silicone around the edge. So what I think I'm going to do is dry fit the doors as well, make sure they operate properly, and then go back, pull everything out, get the silicone out of it, screw everything back in. See how it goes. All right, what we're going to do, this is the bottom.
Okay.
So let me get it over here. We're going to stand it up on the bottom first.
Okay.
And then we're going to put it in this back slot.
The back. Put it in, baby. Okay.
And then lift it, and then lift it, and then set her down. And then I just want to slide it all the way to the side. I'm happy with that because it'll definitely roll. I was looking at as far as if there's any wiggle room that way. All right, now we're going to pull it out and put it in the back corner.
So we're going to lift it up and then out that way?
Yes. And then just leave it upright and we'll walk back there. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you. Okay, now that I've test fitted the door and I know everything's gonna work, squared and all that, I'm gonna take this back out because it's just dry fitted now, and we'll pull it out, silicone the edges, put it back in, and I'll be ready to put the doors in for good and adjust them, the rollers and all that. Okay, there's pre-drilled holes. Well, they're drilled through one part, but not the other part. And they give you these nice panhead screws. Throw them into the wall. At the bottom of the door, this is the screw you would take out if you were going to switch it from left to right hand drive, and the top of the door is the same thing. It's different if you've got blinds inside the glass, but this is just a regular glass door. So anyway, to adjust your rollers, when you first put it in there, you have your rollers all the way up so that it tips into the door. But then when you get it in there, you want to bring the rollers down so it basically lifts the door up. You lift up here and turn that screw clockwise to bring the rollers a little bit more down, and that rests on this track right here. You do that on both sides, and it suggests that you lift up on the door while you're turning the screw to make it easier and take some stress off the screw. But once you get that raised to the height you want, you got your door sliding back and forth. All right, now this time we're just going in
The front one?
Well, it's technically the middle one. The front one's for the screen. Oh, almost forgot. I gotta put these things in there. They'll be fixed. Doors. Stop something? I forget what it was called. You're supposed to place them evenly.
So which is the side that rolls?
The left. So closer to the house.
So that will always just stay there now like that?
Yeah.
You bolt it in place or whatever?
There's pieces that I have to put in place, yes. I've got the handle. I hope I've got the handle.
Will it be easy to roll to it?
Yes, once I make the final adjustments. Peel off the stickers, baby.
Very nice.
All right, show that part. Show how you're holding it. It's that way, and you put it in those holes out there, and then I put this in there. All right, and then I put this, right there, and then that screw goes there, that screw goes there. Are you holding your part steady?
Yep.
And the trick is start both screws before you tighten both screws. Make sure they start right. I'm filming nothing but your head.
Hey, this one's.
Is it holding now?
Yep. Is this one holding?
Yep. Got that one tight. That one tight. Make sure that works.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we'll read the instructions and see what's next. Got one tiny screw I'm going to start with. Oh, I've got to do it on the slots though. There's slots and holes in here, and what you do is you do it on the slots first. Don't move the camera. I'm going to try to do it in the middle of the slots. Tiny screw?
Boop.
Tiny screw. The middle of this slot. Oh no!
Tiny screw boy. Inside.
Okay.
You're not doing it right. You're supposed to go like this.
All right, and then we'll test close the door.
It's your beautiful butterfly.
Excellent. So since that's where we want it, we'll put the longer screws through just the single holes. So there's the 4 screws holding in the keeper thing for the door. So now from the inside, the door shuts and latches. Okay, now we're supposed to slide this all the way closed and push that as far as it'll go that way, the stationary panel. And then we got 2 stationary panel keepers. That's the top one and that's the bottom one. That goes right there. And then we screw it down with the 2 little screws. And the same for the top. Okay, on the inside, we have these things called stationary panel clips. These plastic things with 2 holes in it and a little notch. It goes in a slot at the top, and then 2 screws to screw it in, and then we'll have the same thing at the bottom. And on the opposite side, what would have been the keepers for the other door, they got these little plastic pieces that you put in there just to decoratively cover the hole, top and bottom. It's a tiny little piece, the seal filler piece that goes in that little corner right there. Pops in place. And then the threshold pops down here. One thing I thought was a bad design is you got this, that handle can hit there. But I hadn't read the instructions enough. There's this bumper piece that goes up in the track on the inside. Keeps the door from opening all the way into that. So, I guess the top? Yeah, the top. Piece right there. And now, if you look out here, it stops short of it. So that's cool. Alright, when I went to put in the screen door, the threshold seemed like it was sticking out too far, and I realized I had put this little thing over this lip where it was supposed to go inside the lip. So make sure you put that inside the lip. And now, that rolls pretty smoothly. install this hardware. All right, for the screen keeper, we got this little bitty hook, and it says hook up. And that's going to mate up with the keeper on the screen. So I've marked that, and I'm going to drill or screw the screw in. Now, I think that's where we need it. We got a second screw, but we're going to close and latch the screen first to make sure it works. Yep, that works. So screw it the rest of the way in. Wow, it looks nice in here. And I didn't realize that these, it said sun protection, but I didn't realize they're actually going to be a little bit tinted. So that gives us a little bit, not a bright day today, but when it is a bright day, that'll be nice to kind of shade out the sun a bit. All right, that's the American Craftsman sliding glass door, $300, or it ends up being like $350 if you get the optional flat screen. But my other option was a pre-built sliding door. It would have been awkward. I would have probably broken it trying to get it up here. But with it being in pieces, everything comes, like the biggest pieces are the doors. So I'd highly recommend the American Craftsman door. And some people say, oh, $350, that's a lot for a treehouse. But I was looking at using a traditional door and a traditional screen, which would have wound up costing me about $350. And then I would have had a door swinging in, which would have taken up some of the floor space. And with it being an 8-foot by 8-foot treehouse sliding door, it's just going to work out better. And I think it looks nice. And if I would have done a traditional door and screen, to get this much light coming in, I'd have had done another window too, so that would have been another $150. So, worked out good. I think it looks nice.